Welcome to Equities. We're here to help you plan, defer, and save your tax. This is a reminder that the Alberta Emergency Isolation Credit is still available. Don't know how long it's going to be available for, but I know many of you have to go into isolation sometime in March. If you're in isolation or you have to self-isolate for any reason and you qualify, I'm going to take you through the steps on how to get this credit.
So the Alberta Emergency Isolation Support. This has come out today. It's been announced for a few days, and they said it will be available before April, and the government has come through for us, and it is before April, a few days before, and it is available as of today. And so this is a one-time payment of $1,146. It's for working adults who must self-isolate, and they have no other source of pay or compensation while they're self-isolated. There is a way to apply for this, and a few things to kind of keep in mind. There are criteria, and this is actually ideal for people who do not qualify for EI. So if you don't qualify for EI, for example, if you're self-employed, have your own business, this would be a way to get your payment in. It's a one-time payment from the government of Alberta of $1,146. So some of the reasons is basically if you've had to self-isolate. So if you have to self-isolate for 14 days, there are reasons that you have to do that. For one reason is you recently returned from outside of Canada. You've been in close contact with somebody who has tested positive for COVID, or you have been asked by a healthcare professional for another reason. So if you become sick, you also need to isolate. So if you have a dry cough, fever, difficulty breathing, shortness of breath, runny nose, or nasal congestion, those are all, or even a sore throat, those are all reasons to self-isolate as well. This is a self-attestation you will do. I'll take you through the process on how to get this $1,146. And we've gone through the process for a client, and you will be able to collect this today if you go through through all these forms right now. It's available right now, and the government of Alberta is being very quick about being able to get these funds into your pockets. So the first thing you want to do is you want a My Alberta account. So what you need to do is you need to go to this website right here and get a My Alberta account. There's a process, and basically I'm on the website now, and it looks like they're undergoing some maintenance. This is wonderful. I was hoping I could take you through the whole process right now, but unfortunately it looks like My Alberta accounts are getting likely a large number of people applying. This just came out today. So hopefully you guys can get on there and apply. We do have some screenshots here. Once you go through and get that My Alberta account, what you'll be able to do is you'll get a note, and your final completion phase is basically going to say your activation code will be mailed to the address on your ID card. It should arrive within 10 days. No need to panic. The Alberta government has seen this. They've released in their release as of today, where it's highlighted here, you do not need to wait for the mailed verification code to complete your application. So you'll go through this process. You'll basically put in some personal information. If you have your driver's license, that helps as well, because they'll ask for some information off of your driver's license to verify that it's you, including that barcode at the back of your driver's license. And then you can get this account set up to this phase. Once you're at this screen, you are going to be good to go to get your benefit from the Alberta government. Once you've completed that, you want to go to this website here. And so the alberta.ca emergency isolation support website will allow you to go and apply for this credit. So this is the website here. You basically need to go through this website. It talks about the eligibility criteria, which we'll cover in a moment as well. And then you can go and apply. Now, usually, I see there's some issues right now as well. I think they're facing a large number of people that are applying. but there is usually a icon right here, and I do have a screenshot of that, and that allows you to apply. And so this is the first page I took you to, and it basically says scroll down. Once you scroll down, you'll get a submit an application button, and that's what you want to select. When you go and go to the submit application button, you will come up to this screen here, and it basically lets you know how to apply. It tells you who is not able to get this $1,100 support payment. And so this is the details of who is not able to get that. So if you're not working immediately before you were advised to self-isolate, you do not get the payment. If you are not experiencing a significant loss of income as a result of self-isolation or caring for a dependent who has, due to COVID-19, you do not get the benefit. If you're able to work from home, you do not get the benefit. And if you're currently collecting other forms of income support or employer benefits while self-isolation, such as EI, then you do not get the benefit. And if you're staying home to care for a dependent who is home for a reason other than self-isolation, as advised by the government of Alberta, then you do not get the credit. And of course, this Alberta credit is not available if you reside outside of Alberta. So if none of those are the case, there's a chance that you will qualify. The next screen, once you get past that first screen, is a series of questions. It doesn't take long to answer these questions. They're mostly yes/no questions in terms of, do you currently reside in Alberta? Are you 18 years old or of age or older? And so on. So those are a lot of the questions that they start asking, but then they get into detail of qualifying questions. So you need to be aware of who does qualify as you're answering these questions. So some of the questions that we want to point out to you right now is some of the reasons that you've left work. So did you leave work due to being diagnosed with COVID, caring for a dependent who has been diagnosed with COVID, or have been advised to self-isolate? So those are the areas. So you really, if there's something in there that you say yes to, the chances of qualifying are greater. So if you look at the left side of the screen, you really want to have yes to at least one of those questions, I would think, to be able to qualify for this funding. So the next section says, were you advised to self-isolate within the last 14 days? And then there's also a COVID self-assessment form from the Alberta Health Services that you could complete. And that's a question they ask. If you completed this, did you receive advice to self-isolate? And so one part I just wanted to kind of point out on that form, when you go to that form, is some of the reasons that you must self-isolate. And one of them is being if you've gone through this kind of screening process, is if you have a sore throat or you're feeling unhealthy. And so that's a area that you want to kind of keep in mind. Anyone who has symptoms including fever, cough, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, a sore throat, runny nose, or nasal congestion must self-isolate for 14 days. And so if you have that, you do need to self-isolate, and then you would end up selecting yes for that as well. And then on the right side of the screen, there are a few more questions that we want to kind of consider as well. So are you experiencing a total or significant more than 50% loss of income as a result of self-isolation? Remember, experiencing a loss of income is a requirement to be able to get this credit. So really, if you select no to that, you likely won't qualify. Were you working full-time or part-time prior to self-isolation? That is a requirement again. So if you select no to that, you may not qualify. And then, are you able to work from home while being self-isolated? So that's another question that's a requirement as well, that you're not able to work from home. And so if you select yes to that, there's a potential that you don't qualify. Once you answer those questions, you will end up being redirected here. And basically, it's saying it wants to take you to your My Alberta account. That's why at the beginning of this process, we went to My Alberta and we registered an account there. Hopefully that's up and running soon so that you're able to do that. It gives you a list of some information that you'll need as well to continue the application process, which is there as well. So you go into the sign-in screen for the My Alberta Digital ID, and then you need to agree to their terms of use. And then you come to confirming the information. Now this information will be automatically populated. It'll have your name, etc. that you've already put in. You just need to confirm that that is correct. And then you will need to provide additional information as well. So they'll be asking you which of the following applies. Are you an employee? Are you primarily self-employed? Or are you primarily an independent contractor? So we do know that this is available for self-employed and independent contractors. For employees, there's a bit of a question mark. It's supposed to be available for people who are not qualified for EI. So you may still get it as an employee, but I am not certain. You also need to note your date of isolation. So you've basically filled out this form saying you need to go into self-isolation. Well, now you need to provide the date that you went into self-isolation. I believe the Alberta Emergency Isolation Support is available if you had to go into self-isolation sometime in March, so before April, I believe is the key there. You'll also need to put some security questions, so when and if they do send you a Interact e-transfer, then you can provide that security answer so you can make that deposit into your account as well. You also get a declaration and acknowledgement form. Now this is the self-attestation that you need to do, and it's basically taking in all the information that you've provided in the previous form, saying that these are the reasons you want to apply, and it's asking you to basically confirm this. So you'll basically say, yes, I promise this is true. Once you do that, you will get a reference number. And so this is kind of the note that you'll get is you will get an email confirming your application, and they'll provide you your reference number as well. That's on the left-hand side there. On the right-hand side, you can see what the email looks like. So they'll give you your reference number. They'll say hello with your name on it, and let you know that you will be getting an email telling you if you qualify. So somebody is likely on the other side verifying this, or it's being done by a bot, but in either case, it does need to be verified with all the answers. Now, if everything goes right, you will get an email, which is on the left-hand side here, saying you qualify for the Emergency Isolation Support benefit, and that you will get your $1,146 within the next 24 hours. And then when they do send you an email with an e-transfer, got a screenshot of that as well, and saying, look, here's your Interact e-transfer, and then you just put in the password for your Interact e-transfer, and that gets automatically deposited into your account. So this was available starting today. We went through the process, and it does work. You do need that My Alberta account, which we can see as we just checked right now, was temporarily unavailable, and then you need to be able to go through the emergency support website on Alberta government's website, and that will allow you to fill out the forms and provide an attestation to get this deposit. The whole process took about an hour. And not bad to get a $1,146 for an hour's worth of time, but it gives you an idea of what the Alberta government is providing.
I hope that provides you enough steps on how to apply for the Alberta Emergency Isolation Credit. I hope you're able to get that into your bank account. If you have troubles or any questions, shoot us an email and we'll try and help you through the process. Thank you for watching our video. Really appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up, a like if you enjoyed this video, and please do share the video with those who could benefit from this credit as well. Thanks.